ukol dun sa kanilang pagsusuri at saka pag-intindi dun sa kakayahan ng gobyerno na rumisponde dun sa mga malalaking issue na pinaka-urgent sa kanila. Kitang-kita natin mga kameta dito, 'di ba? Kitang-kita natin ang baba ng approval ng administration, gobyerno in fact, um, on the most urgent issues. So the most urgent issues are inflation, poverty, wages, job creation, and then medyo ganun, corruption. And on all of these issues, hindi magandang numbers ng gobyerno, 'di ba? -9% sa addressing the involuntary hunger, -15% increasing the pay of workers, -15% fighting graft corruption in government, -34% reducing the poverty of many Filipinos, -71%, -71% sa controlling inflation. So, I think it makes sense why Sarah's number will actually increase if she's out of government, right? Genius. Because if she's out of government, the more she can claim na wala akong alam dyan. O may problema kayo sa economy. Unang-una, DepEd Secretary ako. Hindi naman ako, hindi naman ako NEDA Secretary or Department of Finance Secretary, right? DepEd ako. At pwede niyo sabihin ngayon, hindi nga ako sa gobyerno at all. So kung may problema sa gobyerno, vice-presidente ako, ako maging boses nyo. Ako yung boses ng bayan. Ako yung mga boses ng opposition. So, yun yung magiging positioning ni Sara Duterte. Or potentially, yun yung pwedeng tingin sa kanya ng ibang tao na siya yung maging boses, 'di ba? Ng opposition. Or at the very least guys, Sara not being part of his administration and Sara never having the primary cabinet position that dealt with the most urgent issues actually helped her, right? Because if the most urgent issues for people is inflation, poverty, wages, walang kinalaman ng DepEd to begin with. And now na wala sa gobyerno at all si Sara Duterte, the more she can claim na you cannot blame it on her. Now, it's the complete opposite situation for BBM because BBM is the president. Of course, sa surveys na yan, I'm not sure how many people, to be honest, kilala nila yung NEDA secretary natin, Sir Balisacan, na napakagaling. DOF secretary natin si Recto, okay, si maybe siguro kilala. But at the end of the day, guys, the buck stops with the president. And literally, pag ang issue dito is buck, money, or gut, ang sisisihin talaga dito yung administration. And the administration is primarily here BBM. So BBM is getting the backlash from the people on the economic issues. And naturally, dahil hindi kasama sa gobyerno si Sara ngayon, and dati hindi naman siya kasama sa mga key departments katulad ng Department of Finance or NEDA, ganyan-ganyan. So she always had this plausible deniability. She could always say, kung may problema sa gobyerno, hindi ko naman kasalanan yan. Right? And now, talaga hindi ako kasama sa gobyerno. And increasingly, of course, pumuposition si Sara as the voice of the opposition. Right? Or at least, yun yung positioning niya. So, she has plausible deniability and in fact, she can also act as a critic of the administration. In a weird way, echoing what Lenny was doing back in the day. Except back then, sobrang popular yung presidente kumpara sa ngayon. Now, of course, BBM having more than 50% approval rating is still going to be an envy for the Bidens and of Schultz and for any leader in a major country. Pero pagdating sa Pilipinas, just having over 50% approval rating and yung galing sa karibal na pamilya, na dynasty, na medyo kalaban na ngayon, na number two, breaths away from the presidency, na almost 15% or with margin of error up to 20%, at least double digit yung lamang niya sa'yo, that's not a good news. That's not a good news heading into SONA. So, ang laki ng pressure on BBM to really deliver something special in this SONA and let that be kind of essentially yun yung parang springboard niya to launch a kind of a new approach to governance whereby he can really improve his numbers. He can really improve his numbers because I'm not just hearing anything convincing or anything palliative or anything galing sa gobyerno na pwede mag-reassure dun sa mga kaubayan natin na bugbog sarado na sa inflation. Because totoo na yung inflation ay nag-slow down, Pero when we say inflation slows down, doesn't mean the prices go down. It just means the increase in prices is slowing down. So, tumataas pa rin yung presyo ng mga bilihin. At tumaas na siya last year. At tumaas din siya nung isang year. So, tuloy-tuloy yung medyo mataas. Again, thank God we're not inflation Turkiya, inflation, Argentina way. But considering ang dami sa ating mga kababayan na mahihirap, I mean, just to tell you how poor the Philippines is, interesting. Interesting yan kasi we're supposed to become an upper middle income country. But just to tell you how unequal wealth distribution is in the Philippines, a new study came out that said that kung meron kang, I think, 2.8 million pesos sa bank or cash on hand, you are part of the 1% in the Philippines, meaning you're richer than 99% of the Filipinos. And that minimum required for the Philippines was one third of Vietnam. So in Vietnam, for you to be in top 1%, you need more than three times the wealth you need in the Philippines. Now, this is weird because Vietnam's per capita income is just barely 10 to 15% more than the Philippines. So that just tells you how concentrated wealth is in the Philippines and how vast majority of Filipinos are very close to the poverty line. Very close to the poverty line. So, ilan lang million mo, you're already better off than 99% of Filipinos. That just tells you gaano ka-concentrated yung wealth sa ilang tao. And for me, alam naman natin yung mga iba dyan sa atin na may mga few million here and there. Wala yan. Actually, much of our wealth, right? According to the World Bank, in 2011, and I don't think things are looking much better now because not much has changed with our economy. In 2011, only 40 families in the Philippines, kinain nila 4%, more than 4% sa 6% growth natin. 3/4 of our entire growth just went to 40 families. So, yung 0.0000001% ng population natin ay halos nakukuha nila yung lahat. So, ganyan kasabog yung ekonomiya sa Pilipinas. So, pag sinasabi ng iba, ay, ang problema, ang solution lang dyan, hindi tayo maging corrupt. Well, actually, total corruption in the Philippines is less than 1 trillion pesos. But wealth inequality for me is a bigger problem in a sense that, of course, we have to fight against corruption. And anyone who knows about development will know that actually as countries become more developed, more middle class, corruption goes down because there's more scrutiny, incomes are better, there's more institutionalized, scrutiny and anti-corruption, courts become cleaner. But given na yan, but we know the reason why. Isa sa mga dahilan na sobrang daming mahirap sa ating bayan na ilan lang million mo, you're already better off than 99 million. Ilan ba sa kababayan natin wala man lang bank account? Nahirapan mag-set up ng bank account kasi hindi nila ma-maintain yung minimum required amount. First, para magbukas ng account, and then pangalawa, to maintain that account. Di ba parang may kailangan mo pa ng 250 pesos, 300 pesos sa ATM mo para hindi siya Alam ko yan kasi may time na nasara yung bank account ko kasi kahit 200 pesos wala siyang laman, di ba? Alam mo na mga estudyante days, mga ganon, di ba? And even after estudyante, there was time na sobrang, medyo gipit din ako na kahit hindi ko na mapalit yung Anyway, let's not go there. Madrama na yan. But, yeah, I work so hard. I mean, this is my way of making sure, di ba? Very, very, ako. It's not just the Ilocano in me. Nakaka-traumatize, guys, yung ganyang situation. Yung wala ka man lang minimum to maintain your account, ATM account, nakaka-traumatize yan. Hindi lang humiliating, is traumatizing. So, it's because halos lahat ng growth sa Pilipinas galing saan? Real estate, mall, yung mga big infrastructure projects na ilang oligarchs lang kumukuha. Wala naman tayong mga big manufacturing, wala naman tayong maayos na agrikultura. So, Philippines is growing very fast. Philippines is growing very fast. Philippines creating a lot of new wealth. But a lot of that just goes to 0.001 of 1%. So, anong connection sa sinasabi ko? Ang connection sa sinasabi ko ay simple lang. Even if the inflation goes up by 15 or 20%, bugbog sarado. Halos kalahatan ng ating mga kababayan dahil already close to the poverty line na po sila. Kaya napakamahalagang inflation issue sa Pilipinas. Even if my contention always is, ang mas mahalaga dito is real wages. Dapat iakyat yung mga sweldo ng mga ating mga kababayan. Siguro naman, yung mga ibang oligarchs, hindi na kailangan na, di ba? Sana naman medyo mas maayos yung bumababa na sweldo. Sana naman medyo nagre-regularize yung ibang oligarchs yan na hindi lang nire-rehire after every few months para walang, alam niyo na yung mga kalakaran ng iba dyan, di ba? Hindi naman naging bilyonaryo yung iba dyan dahil magaling sila mag-isip or nag-innovate sila. Naging bilyonaryo lang sila dahil sa exploitative labor practices. Yung iba land grabbing, yung iba land grabbing, exploitative practices, and may iba pang. Alam mo na this, 'di ba? So, that's why nasasaktan mga kabayan. And then, yung wage increase, hindi masyadong nangyari. Go to the, alam niyo na ano mga malls yan or something. Kausapin niyo yung mga sales lady. Kausapin mo yung security guard. Sir, gaano ka umakyat yung sweldo mo in the past 2 years? And then, i-calculate mo yung inflation over the past 2 years. Ngayon, ika-calculate mo yung kanyang increase in real wages, meaning yung pagtaas sa kanyang kinikita minus dun sa pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin. Dahil kung mas mabilis yung pag-akyat ng presyo ng mga bilihin dun sa pag-akyat sa kanyang mga sweldo, yung agwat niyan, yun yung nawala pa sa kanya. So umakyat pa nga yung sweldo niya, pero lalong umakyat yung gastos niya. So actually, net loss yun. And net loss yun kung kailan may mga bilyonaryo ka na yumaman pa ng $500 million more just the other month. $500 million more. So you times 55, $500 million. That's how big it is in the Philippines. So it's like, parang kumita siya ng easily ng 25 billion, 250, 250 billion pesos. I mean, just like that, guys. Just like that. Crazy. Right? So, I'm just telling you guys, kaya ngayong inflation, malaking political issue sa Pilipinas yan. Now, naintindihan ko yung sinasabi ng gobyerno noong 2022 na may kinalaman nito sa war in Ukraine, effect on fertilizers, effect sa oil and gas and energy and all. But you would think after 2 years, guys, may konting pag-iba nangyari, may konting pagbabago nangyari, may mga palliative measures. So, kudos to the government for keeping inflation below, I don't know, 6% or 5%. And thank God we're not an Argentina na, 50% or like Turkey, like my goodness, like, but still, kasi ang dami natin mga kababayan na nasa mahirap na malapit sa poverty line. So, kahit konting inflation increase, ang laki ng epekto. Sobrang, kita naman natin guys. Kaya sabi ko, punta kayo sa mga tanin, yung mga sales ladies, mga security guards, mga kababayan natin na talagang masa na apektado. So, kung ilagay mo sila, ilagay mo sarili mo sa kanilang lugar, gets mo guys. Yung lugar ko, hindi na konyo, lugar. Ginawa kong Italian, ginawa ko Espanyol, lugar. Hindi na siya lugar. No, but guys, if you put yourself in their shoes, di ba? Kung nilagay mo yung sarili mo sa lugar nila, bakit ka ma-impress sa presidente? And then, yung vice-presidente mo, pwede naman sabihin na, di naman ako kasama sa gobyerno. Deped naman ako dati. Wala naman akong kinalaman dyan, di ba? So actually, Sara has that plausible deniability. And precisely because when Duterte was popular and Lenny was not in the cabinet, she couldn't also enjoy from any bump in the numbers of Duterte. But I'm sure Lenny would say, I'd rather not be part of that popularity if it's built on XYZ na hindi tugma sa ating conviction sa buhay or hindi tugma sa human rights, constitution, mahabang usapan yan. So in this sense, Sara's distance and resignation from BBM's cabinet actually has cushioned her against the relative decline in the popularity, or some would say relative unpopularity of the current president in light of the inflation issue. Again, in theory, an inflation rate of, what's our inflation rate now? Less than 6%, right? 3-4%. 3-4-5%. That's not bad. But in the Philippines, it's very bad. Dahil hindi umakyat masyado yung sweldo ng mga kababayan natin. At ang dami sa ating mga kababayan ay sobrang malapit sa poverty line. So gets nyo yan? This is where what seemingly is a manageable issue is a big political issue. And this is where you see why Dutertes are doing very well. Plus yung geographic factor ng Visayas, Mindanao numbers. We keep on talking about Vismin. Ang lakas ni Sara pa rin sa Vismin. Now, it also explains why Sara Duterte is, at least in one survey, still statistically tied for front runner. And the only one who's giving her competition and has slightly ahead of her, but again, this is statistically tied because of margin of error, is Rafi Tulfo. Right? And then, mahabang usapan na yan, di ba? Pag-usapan din yung Tulfo factor. And of course, Tulfos bring their own kind of macho populism. They also have their own Zamboanga, Chabacano, Visayas, Mindanao connection. So, ibang usapan yan. Di ba? Mahabang usapan yan. But, do you get what I'm saying here, guys? The not so bad news though for BBM is, interestingly, if you look at the survey by if you look at the survey by Okta earlier this year, nung tinanong, team BBM ba kayo or team team Marcos, mas malaki yung Marcos kaysa Duterte nang malayo, 'di ba? Alright. Sobrang malayo, 'di ba? So, if you look at it, 31% sa ating mga kababayan, picture natin para makita niyo. Sorry, hindi ko malabas siya. Okay. 31% ng ating mga kababayan ay sinasabi na nasa Team Marcos sila. Alright. Nasa Team Marcos sila. Okay. 31%. Alright. 31% ng ating mga kababayan. Laki nun. Laki nun. While, pero hindi ganun kalaki. Laki nun kumpara sa only 20% na nagsabi na pro Duterte sila. So that's a huge difference, right? So mas lamang ang mga pro Marcos kaysa pro Duterte. All right? And siguro yung 20% na pro Duterte, yun yung 20% plus na ayaw kay BBM, plus yung mga ibang tao na walang partisanship, plus yung mga never Marcos na opposition. So it perfectly makes sense bakit ang daming disapproval kay Marcos, almost regardless of his actual performance. Kasi we can have a long debate about how much we can blame Marcos, how much palpak, how much successful, how much ganun. But I'm just explaining to you in terms of political alignments, because unfortunately, a lot of things in the Philippines is not only based on objective assessment of the range of possibilities and what is doable by the administration. It's also about loyalty, tribalism, etc. But at least, guys, I explained to you guys, it makes sense. The BBM seeing his numbers down, but Sara not seeing her numbers down. Because this inflation issue can blame on Marcos because he's the president, the box stops with him, but not with Sara, who's effectively out of the government and never held any relevant portfolio. But interestingly, if it really goes down, half of the Filipinos are somewhere between Marcos and Duterte's, but 60% of that half is with Marcos's. Which, of course, is where we come in, because that means almost half of Filipinos are not with either Duterte's or the Marcoses. And that's precisely where there's a room for a third force. The Tulfos are kind of positioning themselves as a third force. The genuine opposition is kind of positioning as third force. May 0.6% dyan na pumunta kay Ronald Llamas na nagpo-position as the third force. So let's see where these things are going. But the last one I want to say here, guys, is Marcos has to bring something special to his third State of the Nation address. This is going to be his most consequential and arguably contentious State of the Nation address dahil eto na. Wala si Sara, wala na yung mga, some would say cultural appropriation, but some would say her, her commendable effort at highlighting our cultural diversity. Her absence will be a big factor in a sense that it's essentially a declaration na hindi lang wala nang unit team. Kalaban na tayo, di ba? So it depends. Let's see so Marcos has two challenges. One challenge is to try to win over Filipinos. I don't know how can you do that kung gutom man tao or nahirapan to say na etong inflation problem and all, we're dealing with it and we're gonna have palliative measures. We're gonna make sure we push for increase in wages, more inclusive development. Good luck sa kanya. But he has to do that. And then pangalawa, he has to still rally support around him by saying, I'm doing the right thing on West Philippine Sea, I'm a patriot, etc. And then try to box out the Dutertes and say, ako wala akong problema, I welcome Sara into my cabinet, I still believe in her, I'm her fan, ng ibang issue na kung ayaw nila sa akin, silang umatak sa akin, si Digong, si Bastega, ng ganon. So present himself as a victim and also present himself as a patriot, a statesman, and rally around me and essentially set the tone for next year's midterm elections. That's why very, very important itong SONA. Not to mention, dahil may nagsabi na mga self-appointed designated survivor siya, mag-ingat din sila dapat, di ba? Again, this is a bad joke, but ang hirap na, di ba? I mean, namatay lang yung leader ng Vietnam kahapon. Napalitan din yung president ng isang bansa. Si Trump, kaka-assassination attempt lang niya isang araw. So, I'm just saying, we're living crazy times. So, yun lang. Ingat na lang. Thank you so much, guys, for the fantastic week and discussions we had. Pasensya na again with logistical issues. I'm just constantly on the move from different places. Our numbers went quite down this week. I don't know why. compared to last week when I was in Amsterdam, our numbers were very good in Amsterdam. I don't know, for some reason, siguro bad din yung lighting ko over the past few days, or I don't know what's going on, because the same time zone, significantly down in numbers natin last week. So we hope to catch up on our average numbers, para maka few million views naman tayo at least every month, no? Sa YouTube natin, and also dito sa Facebook, tuloy-tuloy yung efforts natin. And also, I hope na tuloy-tuloy yung pagsuporta sa atin sa different platforms, including on TikTok, of course, Richard Haydar and 007, Feeling James Bond. And also, of course, please, on Spotify, Richard Haydar and Deep Dive. On Apple Podcast, Richard Haydar and Deep Dive. Libre lang magbigay ng 5 stars. Thank you sa lahat nag-suporta sa atin. We almost have 600 ratings, almost 5-star on Spotify. Please continue to support us because we have to keep on going, so that sana makamit natin yung 1,000 ratings. And also dun sa podcast, I think Apple Podcast, I need around 50 to 100 ratings. And hopefully, if you think you believe, you think we deserve 5-star rating, and please go ahead with it. And then lastly, of course, please continue to support us on YouTube. Subscribe to us. Bumaba rin ng subscription natin by 50% over the past week or so. So I don't know, is it because of my algorithm, because I've been on the move? What happened there? So please continue to support our channels and ask other people to join us. Wala namang mawala sa yan yung nag-support kayo or nag-join kayo. Libre lang po yan. But for those who have sent stickers and stars and all, I really appreciate your support. Every good comment, every sticker, every point of inspiration, matters, considering we're trying to squeeze in everything. Okay, I'm just gonna get some power nap before I go to my catching up with some colleagues and all, and then going around. I love the city. It's a fantastic city. I'm a Madridista, and I can really say which is a more beautiful city. It's a fantastic place. So I need to get some rest so that makaabol ako sa mga engagements natin. And then obviously I need to get proper rest tonight, and hopefully I can also get some column out for Sona natin on Monday, before I head back home, God willing, inshallah. On that note, thank you very much. God bless, and talk to you soon. Have a lovely day. Maraming salamat po. And shout out again dun sa pinsan natin ng mga La Familia natin sa Ibiza, of course. At yung Galleon Pizzeria. Alright, ni Chef Marco and the whole gang. Thank you very much. God bless, and talk